Ladies and gentlemen, would you all join me in welcoming the members of the Webster Thomas High School graduating class of 2017. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to RIT's Gordon Field House and the commencement ceremony for the Webster Thomas High School graduating class of 2017. Would you all please rise for the singing of our national anthem and the Thomas School alma mater, sung this morning by the Thomas Select Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there, was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of America, the brave? Near the shores of Lake Ontario stands a school which we hold dear. Webster Thomas will make a promise to always keep you near. With every teacher, staff, and student, our moral compass will be aligned, and together we will fight with her colors and white. Live forever, Titan pride.
I'd like to extend our warmest welcome to our parents, grandparents, friends, and family of today's graduates. Thank you for your support and encouragement that brought us to this joyous occasion this morning. I'd like to recognize our honored guests seated on stage today, our Superintendent of Schools, Carmen Gamina, President of the Board of Education, Mike Suffoletto, Deputy Superintendent, Brian Neenan, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, David Swinson, Assistant Superintendent of Pupil Services, Shelley Cahoon, Director of Special Education, Colleen Armstrong, our Willink Principal, Jim Ginling, Schlegel Road Principal, Francine Leggett, and members of our Board of Education, Susan Casey, Jan Straggy, Linda Diogardi, Tammy Gorowski, and Michael Gustin. On the opposite side of the stage, I'd like to introduce today's speakers as well as your class of 2017 officers. Your class secretary, Tanner Bay. Dylan Fenty. Jeremy Frigeau. Grace Gamina. Your class treasurer, Tyler Schwartz. Class liaison, Adriana Visca. Class president, Kelly Weeks. And your class vice president, Sean Wyman. Lastly, our faculty keynote speaker this morning from our social studies department, Mrs. Erin Leahy. I'd also like to introduce our school counselors who will be proudly announcing graduates this morning: Carolyn Charlton, Susan Stacy, Richard Kiefer, John Callard, and Tammy Salviel. And performing this morning, we have many students from our music program, led by Mr. Eric Piazza and Mrs. Brenda Nitch, as well as members of the Thomas faculty and staff joined by assistant principals Susan Clark, Andy Millette, Jeremy Slack, Mary Kidd, and our athletic director, Scott Morrison. Also, I'd like to have a big round of applause for your class advisors who have been with you guys for 4 years, Mrs. Catherine Sotera and Miss Jessica Regal. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge our graduation coordinator, Mrs. Donna Gaudina, who's sitting down here to my right, who looks forward to this day each year and puts all of her time and energy into it, making it the best possible day that she can create for you guys. So thank you, Donna, for always doing a fantastic job. To begin today's ceremony, we'd like to honor students and guests who have or will be giving service to our country by joining the military. At this point, I'd like to introduce the members of this year's class who have committed to join the military upon graduation. Please remain standing as I read all the names. Christian Cochiti, United States Naval Academy. Jacob Fosdick, U.S. Army. Corey Giunta, ROTC Army. Jacob Paisley, Air Force. Ryan Pettit, U.S. Army. William Robertson, Marine Reserves. And Garrett Scalise, ROTC Army. While those young men remain standing, I'd like to invite all the members of our audience. If you have served in the military in any capacity, please stand up so that you can join this morning's recognition of military service. Thank you, everybody. So now for a different form of recognition of service. Before I turn things over to Mr. Gamina, I'd like to take a moment to honor a true colleague in every sense of the word and titan of our school, Mr. Morrison. After nearly 30 years of roaming the gymnasiums and sidelines all over Webster, the county and the state, and back in the day at Cardinal Mooney, Mr. Morrison is retiring. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Scott Morrison up to the stage for today's ceremony. I'm getting the look from Mr. Morrison. He's not very happy with me right now. He didn't know this was going to happen. How you doing, Scott? So I'm going to have a conversation with Scott, and you're all free to listen if you'd like. It's hard to imagine a Thomas game without Mr. Morrison on the sidelines. He started our program back in 2001 when Thomas High School was just a new idea in town. Our school didn't have a nickname, we didn't have school colors, and no one ever thought of putting a T on their car at this point. Now, 16 years later, Thomas routinely competes for championships in all sports, and as Mr. Morrison would proudly tell you, more importantly, we qualify as scholar athletes on just about every team every year. Under Mr. Morrison's guidance, the last 16 years, Thomas High School has amassed 45 Section 5 titles, 6 individual and 1 New York State team championship, as well as 2 New York State Players of the Year in men's and women's soccer. But for Mr. Morrison, it's never been about a brick. It's been about learning and relationships that coaches and teachers build with their teams and students. Scott, you've spent a career watching our students play. So today we have reserved a special seat for you, so you have one more opportunity to watch our students celebrate as they graduate from high school. Also, we have framed for you, for your 16 years as our athletic director, a jersey that you can take home. So thank you, Mr. Morrison, for your service. And lastly, just to bring it around to our graduates today, there's a lesson to be learned when you see a great man like Mr. Morrison retire. Follow your passion, do what you love, and you will never work a day in your life. Right, Mr. Morrison?
That's right.
Okay. You're going to sit right over there. I don't think he's that mad at me. I thought he was going to be mad at me. But, right. We have a great ceremony today ahead of us, and I know you're going to find the messages of our speakers today outstanding and engaging. But first this morning, I am very honored to introduce our first speaker. This gentleman has worked in the Webster School District for over 25 years as a teacher, principal, deputy superintendent, and most importantly today, father. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce our superintendent, Mr. Gamina. He's going to need these.
Good morning, Titan families, and a sincere thank you to this year's graduating class for allowing me to share in this special day with you. And a nod of gratitude to all of the moms and dads out there, along with grandparents and other adult role models who have done such a remarkable job guiding such an impressive class of young men and women. Graduation is always my favorite day of the year, a culmination of 13 years of classroom and extracurricular activities. But this year is a bit more special for me because this speech is going to last about an hour because this year is a bit more special for me because one of my best friends will be walking across that stage in about 30 minutes. But more about that in a few minutes, as I don't want to start crying so soon in my speech, but there goes that, so it doesn't really matter, does it? To all of our parents, grandparents, and caregivers in the audience, thank you for raising such phenomenal children. I wanted to share a photo of me on my graduation day. This was back in 1982, and our ceremony was in the Schrader Gymnasium. And I'm certain my parents were pretty proud, just as you, Mom and Dad, are today of your son or daughter. And Titan graduates, I would imagine that many of you may feel as I do, that your mom and dad are the two greatest teachers you will ever have. Well, you may not realize it yet, but you soon will. My greatest joy as superintendent is walking the halls and visiting the classrooms of our schools each week. And moms and dads, I can tell you that the greatest pleasure I get to witness, it's your kids. They are smart, thoughtful, gracious, hilarious, loving, and well, a lot like their parents. Thank you for walking alongside them the past 18 years as teachers, nurses, cheerleaders, personal chefs, and chauffeurs. Your love for them has made all the difference in their lives and in what they have shared with others. Thank you for holding their hands at that kindergarten bus stop so many years ago and encouraging them to get on that bus. Thanks, too, for the more difficult task of letting go of those hands each day, entrusting them to our faculty and staff who care so deeply for them. And Joey Masco, I'm so glad you continued to get on that bus because you've been quite a student to follow these past 13 years. And to our 320 graduates, one of the things that I am most proud of is that you have used your time in our district to serve others. An accomplishment that has ripple effects beyond what any of us can comprehend. And here's one fact that I'm so proud to share. In looking at just 3 of our district's high school service clubs at both high schools, Rotary Interact, Key Club, and National Honor Society, you have donated nearly 6 1,000 hours of your time this year alone to reach out to others. That commitment to putting others' needs above your own is a lifelong lesson that you have learned well, and one that I hope you will continue to teach others. Now, your time in kindergarten was 13 years ago. 4,748 calendar days have gone by. That includes 2,340 school days that all of you have spent from kindergarten through your senior year. And best of all, that includes a total of 22 snow days that have been begrudgingly given to you during your entire career, and I still can't believe I gave you 5 this year. Now, you all started kindergarten back in September 2004. You were 5 years old. You were shorter than your superintendent, and now you're 18, and you're much taller, unless you're genetically related to me. And now I have time to think of all that I've learned from you during that span of 13 years, and I have learned so much from you. From Hallie and Andrea, I've so enjoyed watching you run track or play soccer, and I've learned about the joy of being present in the moment and being part of a team. Ryan Babineau, you were 3 years old when I first met you, before I knew of your admiration for Albert Einstein. But nonetheless, whether it was watching you play goalie all of these years or deal with some pretty intense injuries and physical challenges, I've learned what it means to truly persevere. Ariana Diggory, I have loved watching you shine as part of the stage crew these last few years. And the growth, tenacity, and determination I've seen in you since kindergarten has been humbling and inspiring. Carrie McVeigh, you've taught me that when something speaks to your heart, like dancing does for you, you just pursue it with a dogged determination that is both humbling and inspiring to those around you who've been lucky enough to watch you tell stories through movement. Thank you, Carrie. Alec Wall, I remember the day you were born, as your parents and I have been close friends for nearly 40 years. And I look at this picture of you waiting for the bus on your first day of kindergarten, and 2 things come to mind. First, your love of family, and especially your older brothers, and that reminds me of my own family and my own older brothers. And secondly, even at 5 years old, I'm sure you could have beaten me in the 100-yard freestyle, just like your father did. And Jeremy Frageau, looking at this picture of you on your first day of school, who would have known that I would be so honored to have watched you grow as a young man during all these years? I've learned from your gentle compassion for others while always being true to yourself. That has truly touched my soul, as well as your incredible singing performances going all the way back to the Willing stage. Haley Epping, you may be looking backwards on this particular day in September 2004 as you boarded your kindergarten bus, but your selfless attitude and your willingness to advocate for others will only have you looking forward as you head off to Washington, D.C. to change the world. And I have to hand it to Will White, Jimmy Mueller, and Connor Johnson. This picture reminds me of the true value of friendship and how those connections are far more important in the long run than any score for an AP, GPA, or SAT. Plus, that's probably the last time any of you were able to do crisscross applesauce. Come on, be honest. And this young man, who's sitting directly in front of me, Zachary Gross, is my role model for perseverance, resiliency, and just ethical and moral character. Z, don't ever think that people aren't proud of you for what you've accomplished, even though you may not think they're watching or that they're even aware. You personify the ancient Buddhist philosophy of fall down 7 times, but you get up 8. One last picture. Thank you, Monica Mack, for always helping me remember just how important a really good sense of sarcasm and humor really is. A day without sharing a laugh with someone is really a day wasted. And this picture of you and Gracie is priceless, because even back when you guys were 6 years old, it not only showed the difference that genetics can make in height, but it also shows that friends come in all sizes. Gracie came up to your shoulder then, and now I do. And now, if you don't mind, I'd like to end my remarks by focusing on my own family. And I have a hunch that there are some fathers out there who may be feeling what I'm feeling right now. How did my little girl get to be 18 years old? How did my little girl get to be 18 years old? How did she get to be at this moment in a cap and gown? It was only yesterday that her mom and I took her home as a newborn. Now, I know she looks happy here, but don't let the picture fool you. Did your little girl cry as much as mine did? And truth be told, all I did was cry too. Her mom and I would look at each other like deer in headlights, thinking, what the heck have we done? And then we blinked, and she was getting on the bus to go to Clem North for her first day in kindergarten. And today, my wife and I cry again, and we look at each other like deer in headlights, and we say, what the heck are we going to do? I can't imagine dropping her off in Cleveland in 7 weeks to attend art school, and then driving away. I can't imagine not kissing her goodnight and hearing her say that she loves me. And honest, she says it without asking for money. I can't imagine what it will feel like to roam the halls of Thomas and not see her in Mr. Stahl's art room. But this is what we do as parents. Over the past 13 years, we've gradually released our children, and now it is time for us to enter the next stage. I don't like it, but the most important things that Gracie has taught me is the power of courage and resiliency. I wouldn't wish her medical challenges upon anyone but me, but over the past 8 years, she's been the model of bravery and perseverance. She's going to be just fine on her own, and instead of me wiping away her tears, she'll be helping me deal with my own. I love you, Gigi. Thank you for all that you've taught me. Okay, I got through that. There's one last thing to share. Class of 2017, you will always hold a special place in my heart because of the personal connections I've made with so many of you and your families over the past 13 years. You have made me such a better superintendent, such a better father, and such a better man for all that you've shown and taught me. Thank you for the honor of being your superintendent, and please realize that I am incredibly grateful to have you in my life. I am so proud of you. I am the luckiest superintendent in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gamina. That was incredible. And before we get into our student speakers, I just wanted to personally thank Ms. Sutera and Ms. Regal for all the work they've done over these past 4 years with me. We've had a lot of memories, and being treasurer these 4 years have just been great. And now we're going to get into our student speakers. Our first one, I met him last year in gym class with Mr. Hanley. There wasn't a day he wasn't smiling, just happy to be there. Dylan Fenty.
Hello, my name is Dylan Fenty, and I have been at Webster Thomas High School for 2 years. When I was told that I would be moving to another school for my final 2 years of high school, I felt sad and nervous. I did not want to leave my friends and my teachers at Eastridge. Change has always been difficult for me, and sometimes I find new social situations scary. This is because I'm autistic. But I did not let my fears stop me. If I had, I would have missed finishing my high school career at the best high school in Rochester. Surprisingly, It did not take me long at all to feel like I was part of the Thomas community. On my first day, I had to ask teachers where specific classrooms were, and they were all very helpful and kind. I even told Miss Hewitt that I came from Eastridge, and she welcomed me with a caring smile anyway. This support was a big part of how I became comfortable being a student at Thomas. I have had great experiences and fond memories of all my classes, but my favorite class was, and always has been, chorus. Singing, playing piano, and dancing have been among my favorite things to do. Webster Thomas and Mrs. Nitch supported my love of music by making sure chorus was always a part of my schedule. I have enjoyed each chorus concert I've been a part of, but especially Kaleidoscope. I love the combining of Willink and the elementary chorus, and singing as one big voice. Over 300 people. With Webster being such a large community, this event brought many different people together and made us feel like one big family. I have been fortunate to participate in a work-study program this year as an assistant to the music teachers at DeWitt and State Road Elementary Schools, Mr. Heary and Mrs. Jones. When I was younger, music therapy was a big reason that I was able to speak and learn. And I wanted to share the power of music with young children in the hopes that they could find their own voice. As such, this work-study opportunity has allowed me to observe the role of a music teacher and to support young children in learning to appreciate music as much as I do. This is important as my goal is to pursue a career in music. I hope to have the same positive impact on young children's lives as my teachers have had on me. Autism comes with many challenges, but I have been able to succeed in school and life due to the support of my family, friends, and teachers over these many years. When I had to transition into high school, I had a big decision to make. Should I aim for a local diploma or consider an IEP diploma through BOCES? I thought a lot about this, and after countless conversations with my parents, we all decided that with the support of my teachers and family, I could graduate with a local diploma. And here I stand with the pride and honor of graduating from Webster Thomas High School with that local diploma. Autism has not been a barrier for me. I've had to test my strengths and persevere through hard and unexpected changes. To you, my fellow classmates, I encourage all of you to embrace change and tackle challenges with courage and determination and never give up. I know I'm ready for the future. I look forward to what is to come. College, family, career. I am not sure what the future will look like, but I'm ready to make my mark on this world. Thank you to my mom, dad, Katie, and all of my family, friends, and teachers for always supporting me. I would not have made it without you. Go Thomas Titans!
That was actually really inspiring and truly amazing, though, and I was crying back there. My name is Adriana Visca, and I'm the class liaison for the class of 2017. I would like to introduce our next speaker, Jeremy Frageau, who you may have seen in all the school plays or yodeling around town.
Hello, I am Jeremy Frageau, and I know what you're all thinking. The kid who does the musicals, who's into hair and makeup, is gonna get up here and sing and dance or teach you how to blend your foundation, but I'm here to surprise you. I am gonna talk about the best class ever, gym class. I've been trying to think of a story or quote that would capture the countless years we spent together. And it turns out that perfect moment wasn't some lost memory, but something that actually happened just a couple of weeks ago. So I would like to use this time to tell you that story. This takes place in Mr. Clark's first block gym class, which takes place outside for the majority of the time. Let me preface this story by saying that I really liked our class because we were kind of like the island of misfit toys because we were all so different. But we kind of bonded together through our mutual hatred of gym class. So picture 20-something kids piling on and off a bus, going to the Whiting Road trails for the annual hiking unit. Clark begins giving us the instructions, the usual: stay together, don't get lost, and be back in about 20 minutes. The girls and myself are complaining about the bugs and the mud and the sheer act of hiking. Well, the boys are ready to race each other through the woods. I remember Mr. Clark giving the very specific direction of going from the blue trail, turning left onto orange, to the red trail, back to the blue trail, which takes you in kind of a big circle through the woods. He also mentions that it is a fairly long course and that we should go at a relatively fast pace. So we all start heading off in the trails. We split into groups with most of the guys running off, my group in the middle, and those few girls in the back just casually strolling, bringing us to the first lesson of the story. Everyone goes through life at different paces. People learn at different paces. People experience life at different paces. You may graduate college at the age of 20 or at the age of 30. You may get married at the age of 45 or 85. It doesn't matter, just as long as it is a suitable pace for you. Continuing with the story, we had all kind of separated into groups of 4 or 5 when we all approached an intersection. Clark had originally told us to turn left. So the first group went straight. My group went left, and the remaining 3 groups went right. I can't speak for the other groups, but we all kind of felt as if we had absolutely no direction. So we walked into some random field, and it literally went downhill from there. But not a single one of us knew the way. So, bringing us to lesson 2 of the story. In the years to come, you may find that your life has no direction. Whether it's grades or friends, boyfriends or girlfriends, there will always be something to knock you off your path. Hopefully, you will be able to pick yourself up and dust yourself off, but if you find yourself failing at this task, family members and friends might be able to point you in the right direction. So, I called my friend Dee Dee. She was also in my class. She didn't help at all. In her defense, she was in the woods herself, and she was having her own struggles and whatnot, so here we are. It's like 70 degrees, we're walking, we're all sweating and frustrated, but we turn a corner, and there's Clark. He was standing with a small group of students, worrying about being late back to school. My group is sweating and covered in mud, while the majority of my classmates are out somewhere in the woods feeling lost. But slowly, one by one, we all made it back to the bus from the 2 trailheads. Bringing us to lesson 3. Don't go hiking. It sucks. It's hot. No bueno. Bringing us to our 4th and final lesson. In high school, we all put so much time and effort into specific things, whether that's sports or singing, studying, or partying. We all took our different paths, but that doesn't mean that one path is better or more successful or fulfilling than another. I hope you find the path that leads to your desired outcome. If that's president or bathroom attendant or even hiker, I hope you find the path there. And also, just because you take the path expected of you doesn't make it any better or worse. We all took different paths, but we ended in the same place. Even though my group went the right way, our path was by far the muddiest. Now, this is something pretty important to remember, because in the years to come, you will see each other's Facebook and Instagram posts about how amazing everything is, and you may feel that your life still doesn't have that direction, but I can guarantee that you will eventually figure it all out and make your way back to the bus. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sean Wyman, and I am the Vice President of the Class of 2017. First and foremost, congratulations, everyone. It's a big day. Secondly, I'd like to thank every single one of you in this room with me today, as you have shaped me into the man I am proud to be standing here in front of you. I'm going to miss you all dearly, but I know that you will all exceed in your future endeavors. It is now my honor to introduce our last student speaker, Grace Gamina.
this was gonna be a problem. They told me not to touch the mic. Okay. Just real careful now. Okay. I know, you guys are probably surprised to see me. I'm not here much. I figured I ought to show up today, though. I mean, I missed the first day of my high school career. I can't very well miss the last. I went home early on the first day of freshman year because of the usual reason, the chronic pain disorder I have called CRPS. When I came back, though, a week later, true to character, I walked into the art room to find my first Stall Friday wisdom at my place. I figured it was just a paper I'd missed from the week past, but the quote illustrated read, "Embrace the pain and use it as fuel for the journey." That moment mattered. Before I even knew that Stall had given it only to me, before I realized, wait, the date on this is from 2013 and today is a Thursday. Before I knew he had been there specifically for the absentee he just met. I don't even know if you remember this moment, Stall, but I do. These little moments, these small acts that people do, they matter. Whatever you touch, you will affect, and vice versa. And when you miss as much scheduled life as I do, you start to realize that every moment, every person, everything in that life matters. Mrs. Stahl, when reading that, asked, "No, but really, do you mean that?" And yeah, surprisingly, I do. Every single moment is significant, and small moments can have incredibly enormous impacts. You want an example? I'll give you an example. Brandon Leader. Yeah, you all think people forget these things, but they could remember, and then you'll be fair game for a graduation speech. Brandon. Brandon, in the 5th grade Clem North cafeteria, you told me I was mean. Now me, 5th grade me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not mean, but the narrator overhead is saying she was in fact being mean. I was a jerk to you, but I considered myself a nice person. But even kind people can act poorly. So now that memory of you telling me that I was mean replays every time I check myself for if I'm being unkind, and I'm a better person because of you. Jack Lewandowski, in the 7th grade, oh boy, you might be nervous right now, don't be. In the 7th grade, you told me I was negative, and I was. Not because of my outlook on life, though, but because it was easier to relate to people through negativity. And so I became that one annoying person in the friend group who often uttered sage-like phrases like, "It wasn't that bad." Mom, I once told you that I didn't want to drag you down with me through all the stuff life put me through. You immediately replied, "You're not dragging me down with you. I'm just choosing to stand by your side." I can't tell you why that moment mattered so much to me, but it did. Moments like when friends realized that the tower we'd built on Jacob Baller's back was about to fall over and Stahl pretended not to see. Moments like you're down at the pier with your friends and you're just trying not to be eaten alive by the overwhelming lake. Moments like when the class just wanted to sing happy birthday to Wojciech, but he kept shutting the door on our love. Every moment. Every moment, ridiculous or profound, that we won't remember the details of, but we will remember the feelings of. They matter. Moments matter. Those feelings that make us remember matter. Even the people who we don't identify with, and the feelings and people alike that don't make you feel good, they matter. And so that brings me to, I have a begrudging and uncomfortable relationship with gym class. It's not you, Clark, it's me. You who throw and catch flying objects, who run without getting winded, who say with confidence, "I got it." I do not live in your world. Though I can name all 5 sports. There's only 5, right? I live on a separate plane where we don't understand coordination, whose strengths are rarely volume, as Mrs. Nitch and Mr. Stetzel know from me all too well, and who perhaps don't prefer to be in command or at the center. I say as I'm making a speech. Gym seemed to bring out the maniac within those who enjoy that class, and while entertaining, in that moment, I cannot identify. In fair part because I literally don't have the physical ability to. But I need you. I may need you to say something when I can't, to take control when I don't know what to do, to lead like you were wired to. You may need the people of my plane to instill the quieter kindness and humility where instinct and ego may drown them out. The people who drive me insane, I still appreciate more than I can describe, because I still got to know you. I still got to be impacted by who you are. There's only one you to walk the planet, and I got to play mat ball with you. The individuality of moments and people are what make them matter, and the universal fact that they all do is what equalizes us, regardless of who we are. Though the world does not revolve around you, you must treat every moment as you are about to change someone's world. Obviously, there will be people who you matter less to, and this is no one's fault. People's priorities naturally fall in and out of focus, and that focus is uncontrollable. But the hard part is remembering that. Feeling like I matter is something that I struggled with my entire life because I was absent for so much of the life that I thought I was supposed to live. It's hard to feel significant when the hole you leave in your absences always seem to fill in by the time you return. And again, this is no one's fault. But I just felt like, is my body trying to nullify everything that could bring me meaning in this world, every chance to matter? No. It was doing the opposite. It was giving me myself. It was showing me and developing the inner workings of everything people can wonder about when they look in the mirror. But because at the end of the day, you have to matter to yourself. And that is the hardest contract to sell. To me, I have lived the exact life I was meant to live. I'm not saying I'm a believer in things happen for a reason. No, things happen, we make the reason. Our hardships give us hell, and we can either burn, warm ourselves by the fire, or embrace the flame and use it as fuel for the journey. Those hardships matter, because they give us a piece of ourselves to shape as we might. It's hard, but why wouldn't we treat everything as if it mattered? Why wouldn't we treat every person with the respect that their individual demands of our decency just because of the fact that they exist? How can we not bask in each moment like it's a miracle to have it at all? Because we forget. Don't forget. Appreciate this moment right here on the precipice of our futures. Take note of every individual around you right now, because they have all affected your life, whether you know it or not, and realize that right now, that we will never all be together in the same room again. Reunions don't count. Not everybody shows up, and we won't be the same people then. Here today, we sit as a sea of navy caps and gowns with our hearts beating in and out of sync with one another, and we should marvel in it. Thank you all so much. And when we leave here today, if you remember one moment or one feeling from high school, I hope you remember that you matter. You matter, you matter, you matter, you matter, and you are enough. And wherever you go in this world from here, you will make a difference. I mean, you already have. Make it a good one. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming our Thomas Graduation Choir, led by their incomparable director, Miss Brenda Nitsch. This morning, they will be singing We Can Dream by Pink Zebra.
Hi, my name is Tanner Bay, and I am the senior class secretary. First of all, I would like to thank my parents and family for everything they have done for me to make me the person I am today. And now I have the honor of introducing one of the most fun and energetic teachers at Webster Thomas High School that I have been lucky enough to have twice out of my 4 years. Please join me in welcoming our 2017 faculty keynote speaker, Mrs. Erin Leahy.
Good morning. I'm doing my yoga breathing right now, so bear with me for a moment. I'd first like to just congratulate Grace, Jeremy, and Dylan again for their inspirational and moving speeches. They were incredible, and Carm, you were okay too. You were amazing as well. I'm so proud of you for getting up here. I know it's so emotional with your daughter. So if you could bear with me for 10 more minutes, I'd just like to share some thoughts with you. Community members, Board of Education, Superintendent Gamina, Principal Weedor, faculty, staff, and most importantly, to the class of 2017. Congratulations. I am humbled to stand before you today on this momentous occasion and want to say thank you for this extraordinary honor. Your class is truly special to me, as you were the last group I was fortunate enough to teach as both under and upperclassmen. In fact, if my fuzzy math is somewhat accurate, I believe I have taught, worked with through Link Crew, or had a study hall with the majority of you. I feel so fortunate to have had this opportunity, and it has been a true joy watching you grow from those awkward, unsure ninth graders to seeing you come into yourselves as more confident juniors, to the inquisitive and fun seniors before us today. The importance of this day for you, your families, and community is not lost on me, and I am hopeful that I can impart some advice as you embark on this next most exciting chapter. Now, as many of you know, I am the nutty history teacher. You did select me, and I'm going to start with a shameless plug. Studying history isn't just about the past. It's really about looking to the past to see what kind of world we want to create for a better present and future. When I began pondering what I wanted to talk with you about today, right around the end of May, it happened to have been the centennial birthday of our 35th president, John F. Kennedy. I began thinking about the many parallels from issues in his time and today. It's as if we've come full circle in a lot of ways, and remember, history is cyclical after all. Kennedy inspired the youth of the nation to work and fight and believe in a better world, to give something back to this country and our own communities, including me, I'm actually 65, which have given so much to so many of us. I believe that the major themes of his presidency, service to something greater than yourselves, a steadfast optimism, and courage, have transcended his brief term and party politics. And I wanted to speak to you about these themes, and don't worry, this isn't a political speech, because your generation is inheriting a complicated world with countless unsolved problems. Going forward, you will need courage in your own lives, the courage to achieve your personal goals, and to name and fight the injustices you see in the world. You will use service as a tool for both personal and community growth, as well as an intentional optimism in the face of adversity and life's inevitable ups and downs. What has always impressed me about the culture of Webster Thomas, and your class in particular, is how so many of you have already answered this call to service in remarkable ways. Whether you a member of Key Club, Rotary Interact, West Webster Fire Department Explorers, Link Crew, Brains for Change, the Field of Dreams Initiative, church youth groups, Unified Basketball, countless others, many of you have already given back to your community and grown personally as a result. Sometimes it is in answering this call to service that inspires you in a way that will put you on a completely different path than what you had originally planned. That's what happened to me. It was actually in answering this call to service that led me into the world of education. Many don't know this about me, but I actually began my college career as an environmental science major. And yes, I was crunchy, and I still am, and you know that about me. After my freshman year, I realized that I couldn't envision myself working at a wastewater treatment facility or complying to OSHA standards, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just wasn't feeling passionate about it. I had always had a strong interest in and a big mouth about history and political science, and after much reflection and soul-searching, decided to do a complete 180 and declare a double major in these subjects. There were opportunities through a public policy course I enrolled in to mentor and evaluate the effectiveness of public programs, and one of them was for the Job Corps, which happened to have been, ironically, a Kennedy administration idea. The program still endures today and provides education and job training to low-income students. I remember feeling really nervous and slightly nauseous the first time I drove up to the Job Corps site outside of Buffalo, New York. Having no mentoring or tutoring experience, I was not confident in my ability to connect with these teenagers. In fact, after an awkward introduction to the group and a few moments of dead silence, the first thing one of the girls said to me was, "Miss, your ponytail is nasty." And then another chimed in, "You look like Farmer Brown in those overalls and sandals." And yes, they were Birkenstocks, by the way. I did look like that. There I am. It was the 90s. Don't judge, please. My 19-year-old self wanted to crawl in a hole and die. Not a great day or first impression, but I did find the courage to go back and face these kids despite my unfashionable hair and wardrobe, and decided to continue to stay true to myself. I used some self-depreciating humor about my look and my personality to connect with them. By letting my freak flag fly, so to speak, I was able to bond with these kids and find a common ground. We are all capable of making these kinds of connections if we stay true to who we are. It ended up being one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, and I ended up staying on for another semester to continue volunteering. I ended up adding another major, yes, 3 majors, secondary education, to my undergraduate experience. But I have not looked back, and almost 20 years later, I don't regret changing my path. Sometimes it is in service to something greater than yourselves that you will find out who you are and what you're meant to do. I was just reading recently a Nielsen study that stated the average millennial spends 6 hours a week on social media. Gen Xers were actually worse, we're 8 hours a week. Imagine if you devoted just one of those hours a week to volunteering your time and energies to something positive. Whether it's mentoring youth in the community, coaching a team, driving veterans to appointments through the DAV program, that 1 hour could change yours and somebody else's life. Seize these types of opportunities that will come before you and make the most of them. I wanted to speak with you next about optimism. Kennedy once said the American by nature is optimistic. And despite the looming Cold War, the arms race, racial strife at home, he continued to project an optimism that things could get better if we worked together. I hope you are feeling optimistic about your future and all of the exciting things that are yet to come. I witnessed that optimistic energy when you organized a welcome back event for Ryan Tubiolo, whose optimism and fighting spirit continues to inspire us all. I felt it during senior week at the breakfast and on the senior trip. I loved seeing your class come together like that for events that are positive and celebrate all that you've accomplished and all that's yet to come. Continue to harness that optimism going forward and make a conscious effort every day to view the world through this lens. Like anything worth doing, it takes work. Think about how much easier it is to get caught up in that cycle of negativity, to tear others down instead of building them up. I hope I have demonstrated this optimism in our encounters with one another. I just told a student the other day who had lost her entire final project that there are no problems, only solutions. And after looking at me like I had 3 heads, she kind of settled into that mantra, and together we worked it out. Look, like everybody else, I have moments of negativity, melancholy, disappointment, but I don't let these thoughts and emotions tether to me in a way that shift my lens. We have the power to choose how we carry ourselves and face each day. A recent Harvard study found that optimistic people present a higher quality of life, they live longer, they have more resiliency to stress and anxiety, and have greater problem-solving abilities. You will need this mental fortitude as you begin this next chapter, one that will demand even more from you than the one you just completed, especially as you begin adulting, which is apparently now a verb. By adding one optimistic outlook or thought a day, we can actually rewire our neural pathways so this type of thinking and outlook becomes permanent. Of course, you will have times when you are racked with fear, doubt, negativity, and even apathy. These are normal human emotions. But you must choose to build this outlook into your continuously developing set of values and beliefs. I hope you choose to live by that sense of optimism that Kennedy invoked so long ago. And finally, a few thoughts on harnessing courage. In '57, JFK published a book entitled Profiles in Courage. It described acts of bravery and integrity by 8 different people who went on to change history in some way, including people like Senator Daniel Webster, who your town was named after. Webster had the courage to stand up against people in his own party to keep the young nation together despite opposing views on the issue of slavery. You have and will continue to be faced with all sorts of situations where you feel fear. And you will need courage to adhere to the second meaning. The choice is yours. Think about the courage you have demonstrated already. Entering the food eating contest, on the senior trip when you knew we'd or doused everything in sriracha. The courage to apply to your stretch school, to go hundreds or thousands of miles away for college in the military, or to stay close to home, because that is what's best for you. Courage to put yourself on the line, to strive for something meaningful and risk what could be an embarrassing failure. Have the courage to be thoughtful and rational in the face of an ever-growing reactionary culture, especially when you can fire off some impulsive thoughts or images on social media without reflection or recourse. Have we figured out what Kofifi means yet? Carm? Kofifi? Snow day. It means snow day. Okay. Even though you are all bright and savvy, you will be faced with pressure to immediately react. Don't. Have the courage to say, I don't know, and could I get back to you when faced with questions both large and small. I hope you will remember this when you're confronted for the first time with an exciting or overwhelming opportunity, or pressure to accept your first real job offer, or perhaps even when asked, would you like fries with that? Could you imagine the face of the McDonald's employee when you have the courage to say, let me get back to you? It will be hilarious. You should do that. But in all seriousness, Kennedy had the courage to dare to dream that our nation could put a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s. That we could harness the talents and energies of a generation to accomplish this and so much more. I want you to start thinking about what will be your courageous moon landing. You have all of this within you, and I encourage you to seize this day and reflect upon all that you have achieved, to say thank you to your family and others that have helped you reach this milestone, and to have the courage to find what is in your heart, what motivates you, and the passion that lifts you up and pushes you forward. Please know that you have accomplished something amazing. You have had access to more education than the majority of the world's population. Kennedy once said, education is the key and knowledge is power. Use it wisely and change the world for the better. Build these ideals into your set of values, and I am confident that you will be able to navigate life's ups and downs with a bit more grace, humility, and success. Remember, this is not the end. It is the beginning of another exciting chapter in your lives. Hold on to the memories and friendships you have built here and continue to take care of one another. And remember, you will always be a Titan. Congratulations, class of 2017. Let us commence with awarding the diplomas.
Thank you, Ms. Leahy, for your inspirational speech. Though I've never had you as a teacher, I've always seen your smiling, bubbly personality in the hallways. Our class could not have picked a better faculty speaker for our ceremony. Now I would like to introduce Principal Weedor, Superintendent Gamina, our assistant principals, and school counselors who will be awarding our diplomas this morning.
Tanner Bay. Dylan Fenty. Jeremy Frigeau. Grace Caroline Gamina.
Tyler Swartz. Adriana Marie Visca. Kelly Weeks. Sean Wyman. Eric Brian Axelrod. Anthony Edward Allen. Maya Andrejczyk. Matthew Anacino. Oliver Ash. Claire Elise Ashton. Alexander Weatherly Altman. Melissa Austin. Deborah Ruth Avrakis. Lubov Babchuk. Ryan Babineau. Joseph Badaracco. Jacob Allen Baller. Dan Bandura. Julie Lynn Barr. Haley Elizabeth Barrett. Kelly Elizabeth Berry. Samantha Kate Berry. Claudia Bartleson. Morgan Stephanie Beaton. Allie Rose Balanca. Gina Rose Belisai. Matthew Harris Bellis. Riju Bomek. Claire Grace Bilo. Kelsey Christine Blackerby. Xavier Elijah Blahi. Austin James Bolert. Nicholas Anthony Bonacci. Alexandra Jean Bott. Lauren Adelia Bauer. Olivia Ann Boyan. Erica Lee Brackett. Ryan Bracolo. Corey A. Broussard. Abigail Brown. Margaret Irene Brown. Maxwell Bucci. Jason Buckley. Haley Louise Budendeck. Alec Buff. Michael Angelo Burgos. Jenna Claire Kakamies. Anna Catherine Card. Noah Salvatore Cardella. Joseph Ambrose Carey. Ryan Jeffrey Carragher. Jose Angel Carrillo. Carly Caruso. Danielle Catherine Cheney. Rizwan Kareem Chowdhury. Ahmad Christopher Clanton. Caitlin Marie Clifford. Christian Morrison Cochiti. Nicholas Colucci. Grace Concepcion. Evan Connolly. Tessa Leanne Cody. Tyler Coyne.
David Brian Kramer, Jr. Kathleen E. Crandon. Cheyenne Conley Crossdale. Sarah K. Crumley. Samantha Keelan Caesar. Ryan Michael Cullen. Tyler John Curtis. Tiffany Ashley Kyler. Marie E. Demanda. Isabel Davila. Claire Elizabeth Dean. Ashley W. DeCan. Caitlin Marie Diedrich. Colin Deisenroth. Zachary Del Grego. James DeMarco. Richard Dessens. Jeffrey Day. Ariana Rachel Diggory. Julian Alexander Dingwall. Hartson Grant Danowski. Tyler Joseph Dooley. Janelle Anicia Dowlett. Giselle Anisha Dowlett. Corey Dye. Alexandra English. Laylee Josephine English. Haley Grace Epping. Johanna Taylor Irway. Jack Farnung. Christopher Edwin Farah. Leah Fillick. Jacob S. Fosdick. Sophia E. Fody. Nicholas John Friedrich. Madison Stella Fulton. Alyssa Gear.
Michaela Gill. Jessica Dawn Giordano. Corey Michael Giunta. Emily Christine Glagolov. August Max Glasky. Matt Getz. Aaron M. Gorman. Matthew Green. Catherine Elizabeth Grebe. Zachary Stephen Gross. Brendan Patrick Hatz. Alex Hendershot. Rachel Henler. Taryn Jill Hurley. Miranda Paige Hill. Darian Hadzik. Emily Hoffman. Bailey Hogan. Kylie Ray Horning. Maxwell G. Howe. Nicole Megan Hubie. Jamie Lynn Huber. Benjamin R. Hufflin. Grace Hutchings. William Hyman. Philip Michael Ilievsky. Celine Ince. John Christopher Nzinga. Megan Ann Jackson. Emily N. Jacobson. Thomas R. Jaworowitz. Sierra Jean Jenis. Connor W. Johnson. Sasha Johnson. Sean Jeffrey Jones. Lauren Elise Casper. Elizabeth Marie Couch. Andrew Donald Kennedy. Teresa Jean Killian. Margaret Kimmel. Emma Danielle Kane. Jeanette Alexandra Kokoris. Andrew Canopa. Michael A. Kraft. Michael A. Krug. Caitlin J. Cruz. Don Kuchma.
Hassan Gordon La. Hannah G. La. Ian LaCroix. Grace Elizabeth Laganur. Nicholas D. Lansky. Jade Levasseur LaPlante. Madeline R. Lawrence. Zachary D. Leader. Brandon Leiter. Sophie Marie Leone. Jack C. Lewandowski. Andrea Marie Lippa. Caitlin E. Lowenguth. Alexis Marie Logan. Christopher Lowenguth. Monica Elizabeth Mack. Bridget Kathleen Maloney. Riley J. Maloney. Jenna J. Marcello. Jake Martin. Joseph Anthony Masco. Victoria Massetti. Ryan Timothy Mason. Joseph Michael Mastrandrea. Jessica Ann McAvoy. Riley McBride. Matthew J. McCombs. Paige Lyda McDonald. Brenna Elizabeth McCain. Caroline Emma McVeigh. Cynthia R. Mellon. Megan Lynn Mendola. Gina Sharon Mercurio. Rachel Marie Helen Muse. Mitchell D. Miller. Dustin A. Bedrowski. Erin Olivia Mungin. Eric J. Moreland. Christina Morris. Joseph James Muller. Adriana Marie Murtha. Nina Marie Mesteco. Andre Muth. Amanda Jean Now. Zoriana Nazarko. Natalie Ann Niamtu. Jeffrey T. Nersinger. Brooke Nesbitt. Sarah Marie Nesbitt. Jacob D. Ness. Julia Nicolosi. Dylan Richard O'Grady. Sean Patrick O'Grady. Jessica M. Orlando.
Paul Lewis Paget. Ryan Michael Page. Jake Paisley. Alyssa Rose Palmiero. Samantha Rose Partridge. Joseph James Paul. Catherine N. Peak. Ryan T. Pettit. Grace Pezzamenti. Joseph S. Filippone. Emily Pignato. Noel Ray Pike. Kyle R. Pitt. Congratulations. Devin A. Platzer. Thomas Silos. Selena Alyssa Puccio. Kelsey Judith Quinlan. Tyler Dean Rollins. Justin Reichart. Hewan Reed. Rachel Isabel Riga. Ann C. Ripton. Ryan Alexis Rizzo. Cassandra Leanna Roberts. William E. Robertson. Allison Marie Rocco. Javier Enrique Romero. Anna Maria Rubino. Jacob Russo. Paul Eli Saber. Kaylee Safran. Kristen May Sander. Congratulations. Caitlin Margaret Sanders. Julia Sanderson. Congratulations. Nathan Sandman. Congratulations, Nate. You did it. Devin Slamfiplo. Julia Saxum. Garrett Scalise. Hannah Schenkel.
Olivia Irene Schumann. Emily Rose Shute. Ariana N. Swank. Luke Anthony Sharoni. Nathan C. Sharo. Jacob G. Sheldon. Grace Shields. Diana Skavrico. Alexis M. Shura. Nina Alice Silver. Patrick James Sleeman.
Bradley R. Smith. Kimberly Sabra Subject. Justin Robert Spiegel. Caitlin Zoe Stathopoulos. Eva Staub. Tyler Stellwagen. Ariana T. Stubbs. Trevor M. Ta. Courtney M. Tallarico. Matthew S. Taylor. Abigail Sarah Testa. Nicholas John Thompson. Amanda Tungsiri Manghun. Nicholas Paul Tiberio. Gabriella Elizabeth Tomashuk. Emily L. Tomai. Brandon J. Toops. Mackenzie Rose Travis. Clara Ann Tribunella. Cameron Joseph Sy. Stacy Rose Tubiolo. Julia Valenti. Gabriela Vincenza Vasile. Leah Fulbrick Vasquez. Amanda D. Vestry. Cameron Nicole Viola. Maddie Bay Viza. Nicole R. Vosi. Jonathan Quinn Volo. Samantha Marie Volo. Karina J. Villiquet. Aaliyah Corinne Wadsworth. Alec J. Wall. Gabrielle Marie Weiss. Victoria L. Weller. Taylor Page Wheeler. Jamie Cameron Deanna White. William Edward White. Laura A. Willis. Imani Yvonne Rakaya Wilson. Elena Rose Wisniewski. Julia Ann Witt. Christina Hope Witt. Hannah Nadia Vasovich. Kiera E. Woodruff. Hayden Joseph Woodworth. Colton Youngcrans. Taylor Ziegler. Cole Ziskind. Jason Ziskind. Emily Zuris.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, may I be the first to congratulate and introduce to you the amazing graduating class of 2017 for Webster Thomas High School.
My name is Kelly Weeks, and I am the president of the Webster Thomas class of 2017. Before I make my introduction, I would just like to say congratulations on all of your accomplishments over the years. Your hard work and determination have brought you to this ceremony today, and both you and your families have so much to be proud of. Sorry, I lost my spot. I have been so honored to represent this class over the years. Your enthusiasm in the classroom, on the court, on the field, or on the stage show just how talented and prepared you are for the world. I know our next speaker is just as pleased to represent you as well, so kindly join me in welcoming the president of the Webster Central School District Board of Education in the Better Cefaletto in Webster, Mr. Michael Cefaletto.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, everyone. My role is to put an official stamp on the ceremonies, so let's get right to it. Senior class, would you please stand? By the power invested unto me by the New York State Board of Regents, I now declare you the 2017 graduated class of Webster Thomas High School. Congratulations. Graduates, you may now move your tassels to the left.
You can sit down. In closing of this morning's ceremony, we will hear our talented graduated classmates sing one last song for us. At this time, I hope you look back on all the memories you've had at Webster Thomas, whether it was with your teachers, friends, teammates, castmates, or families, and cherish them for the relationships and love that they have brought to you over the years. Someone once said, every song ends, but is that any reason not to enjoy the music? I'm sorry, it's a little cliche, but I hope that as your time at Webster Thomas closes, you appreciate every moment and every memory you have made here. Thank you for all of the songs, Webster Thomas. Let's enjoy one more together. So please join me in welcoming Joseph Badaracco, Morgan Beaton, Sophia Foti, Jeremy Frigeau, Madison Fulton, and Brenda McCain, who will sing our last song, accompanied by Joey Philippone.
I'm 45 for a moment. The sea is high and I'm heading into a crisis, chasing the years of my life.
15, there's still time for you, time to buy and time to lose yourself within a morning star. 15, I'm alright with you. 15, there's never a wish better than this, when you've only got 100 years to live. Half the time goes by, suddenly away, another blink of an eye. 67 is gone, the sun is getting high, we're moving on.
I'm 99 for a moment. I'm dying for just another moment, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are.
15, there's still time for you. 22, I feel her too. 33, you're on your way. Every day's a new day. Ooh, ooh. 15, there's still time for you. Time to buy and time
you, everybody. Thanks to our speakers this morning as well. Just in closing, the next few years are going to go by very quickly for you all, so live every moment to the fullest, savor every opportunity that you have, and stay in touch over the next several years and keep Thomas updated on what you're doing. I can't wait to see what you do in the future. I wish all of you, the class of 2017, a hearty congratulations on your many years of hard work and best wishes on your future journeys. Thank you, everybody.